This is Wake Up and Lead, a podcast where young professionals learn to lead themselves. What do y'all think about that? That is what I'm thinking my new tagline is going to be. And if you are listening to this, that means that you are interested in learning about what the future of the Wake Up and Lead podcast is going to be. So if you've been with me from the beginning, you know that I have innovated throughout this whole thing. And if you have gotten settled into the rhythm with how I've done things here, I believe I'm about to shake some things up. So if we rewind to somewhere in the middle of 2022, I started this podcast, and originally I was trying to do it to help me sell WildSpark, the company I work for. We do leadership development, and I was interviewing executives, asking them their take on the importance of developing leaders. And over time, I thought that was cool, but I feel like there was a lot of podcasts that did that. So what I wanted to do was start interviewing people closer to my age, my peers, people really in their 20s, just to hear about their life. And so for a while I was saying, finding people that aren't wasting their 20s so that myself and you can learn to really like wake up and lead yourself so you don't waste your 20s. And while I still am passionate about that, as well as the leadership development thing, I then started inviting on some folks that weren't in their 20s, because I realized that as cool as people in their 20s are, we don't know what we don't know. And so I wanted to have some like wiser folks on that have been around the block for a while. And then I kind of angled it to where they were speaking towards people my age who was still kind of targeting the 20s thing. But lately I've been talking a little bit less about your 20s, and I've been saying more like young professionals, because I found that there's a lot of people in their 30s that are listening to this, and even older. And to the person that is 40 or 50 listening to this that maybe isn't like my parents or one of their friends or something, thank you for listening if you do. Maybe you're listening to this because you do get something out of it, or maybe you're listening to this because you want to get a pulse on the next generation of people in the workforce and in the world. And if that's you, I want you here. I want you to learn from us. I want you to come and give me some feedback. But what am I going to do with this podcast? Well, this is episode 131, and what I'm doing today is committing to you that through episode 200, I'm going to be releasing a daily episode that will be anywhere from, let's say, 2.5 to 5 minutes. I have another podcast that I do with my VP of operations at the company I work for, WildSpark. His name's Corey, and we do a daily podcast called the Leadership Spark Podcast, and it's really targeted to middle managers within organizations that have been promoted that are now leading teams. But if you've been with me for any time, you know that I'm really passionate about learning to lead yourself. And the reason is because so many people find themselves in leadership roles in and outside of work, and they don't even know how to lead themselves. So how in the world are they going to be able to lead other people? And so I've become really passionate about learning to lead myself and helping you do the same, so that one day when you are in a position of influence, when you are formally leading more people, you'll be able to be worth following. And so when I talk about learning to lead yourself, I have broken this up into a framework, and I'm just committing to this through 200 episodes. I think I will continue to do daily episodes after 200. I could switch up the framework. I have no idea, but this is an experiment that I'm going to be doing. I'm not a pastor, but I do like using a framework where every word starts with a certain letter. And for this, every word is going to start with an F. And so for 7 days of the week, every day is going to have a theme. And so Sunday is going to be on faith, Monday, family, Tuesday, fitness, Wednesday, future, Thursday, fellowship. Friday is going to be a Friday guest. So it'll be similar to how I've been doing it. I'm still going to have a guest on Friday. That'll be a longer episode. And then Saturday will be findings from my guest, if you will. And so this is just something that I want to try. So 5 days of the week, it's likely just going to be me giving you a quick episode on different domains of your life, whether it's faith, family, fitness, future, fellowship. So faith, I am a follower of Jesus. He is my why, if you will. God has given me everything, and without him, I really have no idea where I would be. And that's really important to me. So I will be talking about faith on Sundays. Family is also super important to me. I am a father. I'm a husband, but I'm new to both of those things. And for you, you may be single, and that's totally okay. I may talk about like families, like how to interact with your parents and your siblings. So if you're not like a father or a mother, or you're not married, that's okay. Stick with me. Fitness, I'm extremely passionate about that. So I'll be sharing some tips and tricks, some of the things I've learned there. Future, We are young professionals. We are learning to lead ourselves. We want to be thinking about the future and be asking ourselves the question, what am I doing right now that's setting me up for the future? And then fellowship, that can be networking, that can be friendships. How are we interacting with other people? Who are the people in our lives that we are interacting with on a daily basis? How are we impacting them? How are they impacting us? And then I'll continue to have a guest that we can learn from. So that'll be Friday guest, keeping the F theme. And then findings from my guests will be Saturday. And so that's what I'm thinking for right now. If you have any feedback, please let me know. You can message me on LinkedIn. You can text me at 205-427-0040 if you have any thoughts or feedback for me. But again, I'm doing this for episode 131 through 200 just to see what it's like. I think I will continue to do it, but this is an experiment and I really hope you enjoy it. I consume content in smaller bite-sized chunks, and I think that you probably like that too, instead of maybe always like a 45-minute episode. So that's what we're going to try. Guys, I am fired up about this. So many people are asleep at the wheel of their own life and they don't live their life with intentionality. They need to wake up and lead themselves. So it's time for you and me to wake up and lead. I'll see you tomorrow.